Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie Mann at the Safe Kids Now show. And I am so happy to introduce to you today an amazing lady. And her name is Judy Hart, and she's a well-respected businesswoman. And she's very successful hairstylist, and she's a mother and grandmother. She's been very active in her life and giving back to the community. She's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Wow, my first time meeting someone that's done that. And Mount Everest to help raise funds for human trafficking victims. So, what happened that Judy Hart became addicted to pills? Well, I want to introduce you to Miss Judy Hart. Hi, Judy. Where'd she go? Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button. Okay, there she is.
Hi.
Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for joining me today, because I can't think of a more important topic than this one, because would you believe we have 19.7 million Americans aged something like 12 to adulthood that are addicted to drugs. I mean, addiction is addiction.
Yes.
And you've been through it. You have had this experience. And we want to learn from your experience in the past of how in the world did you get started, and what happened to you that got you into drugs?
Okay, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I can't tell my story without saying, but God, He got me through this. He's there every day, and I hope my words are pleasing to Him today as I share my story.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So 31 years ago, my mother died in Jacksonville, Florida on vacation at 51 years old. I believe this is where my trauma started. I had just gotten married to my husband. We are still married today. When I was pregnant with my first child, I had my first child. I was pregnant with my second child, and we had marriage problems. My husband was unfaithful.
That's not an uncommon story.
Yes. And we had the kids, and I poured into the kids. So I could kind of put that on the back burner, and everything was about raising our daughters, keeping a home. Then they went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it landed on me as I'm looking across from him, like, wow, I haven't dealt with any of that stuff from back in 1993. And some people might think, oh my goodness, 1993, let it go. Well, if you don't deal with it, it's not going anywhere. It's just making a bigger wound inside you.
That's a very important point. Absolutely.
Yes. And so, like I said, I do hair, and I was offered a pain pill because I probably had a headache or a backache, and I felt pretty good. I finished the rest of my day very energetic.
Okay.
And half worked for a long time. but then it didn't. So then I went to 1, and 1 goes to 2. And that's where my story just went off the trails. It was bad. It was ugly. It was nasty. Addiction is, it's of the devil. It's the pit of hell.
Well, it's also expensive problem to have, is it not?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
well, tell us a little bit about how that all worked for you. What happened as a result of you slowly and gradually taking more and more pills? What kind of pills were these? What kind of
They
pills?
were pain pills. They were Lortab.
Okay.
And I would, back in the 2008, 10, 12, I could trade with people for services, hair. So, yeah, not that kind of service.
Okay. You were giving hairdos
Yeah,
in
and if
order
somebody
to
said,
get pills.
"Oh, this pain medicine made me sick," I'd say, "Oh, well, let's do a trade." And I'm embarrassed to admit that, but it's my story. It's the
Right.
truth. Let's go to the last 2 years when COVID hit. So I used all along, and that's how I did it. COVID hit. I got a prescription. I would get 90 a week.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, 90 a month. They would be gone in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then I had 2 weeks to wheel and deal. And then I would buy them. And at the end, I had a 12 pill addiction a day for $100. $100.
So it's $100 a day addiction.
Yes.
And how long did it last like that? Because that seems like an awful lot of pills.
It was a lot of pills, mountains of pills. It lasted 2 years like that.
Wow.
Yes.
And did you have a deal? Who gave you these pills, or who'd you buy them from, or did you have to go out and find people to buy them
We
from?
had somebody. So I
Okay.
wasn't going on the street.
Okay. So you had somebody that would give you the pill, or buy the pills from. And
Yes.
did they come from a reliable source? Because there are an awful lot of pills out there today that'll kill you.
Yes. It was their prescription.
Oh,
And they
prescription.
obviously didn't abuse them like I did.
Okay, so how did you get away with that? That you had $100, a pill addiction, and they were prescription, and it's hard to get prescription pills like that. Did you have?
I had a doctor who gave them.
Oh, a doctor.
Yes, the 90. My husband's a financial advisor, so there was a lot of lying with the money because I'm in the cash industry. And I would say the last 2 years I worked were pretty much to stash cash so I could buy them.
Okay.
He's probably going to hear this and probably have a heart attack, but because I never really told him how much it was a day, but
Okay.
the truth, yes.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
All right. Well, now you had to keep this mostly as a secret. How hard was that to do? How hard was it on your spirit to keep?
Oh, it was hardest on me. It was hardest on me
Okay.
because I would, first thing in the morning, I would get up and have one with my coffee.
Okay.
And that would start the cycle. And it's all I would think about all day. And when I got if I had anything less than 12 a day, I was in pure panic mode.
Okay.
Then I get in bed at night and I say, no more. I'm not doing it again tomorrow. Well, it doesn't work like that. Addiction doesn't work like that. And it would start the cycle over all day. I woke up every morning. I used to think I wasn't a morning person. But what I realized, I had so much self-hatred and self-loathing because I knew I was going to do what I didn't want to do again that day.
Wow. And you did that for 2 years, feeling that way every morning?
That was longer than the 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, that was longer than 2 years, but I would say it really ramped up my amount that I took in the COVID years.
Okay. Well, now you had to feel a lot of guilt, right? About
Every
this.
day.
And how did you manage your guilt? Or did people see it? Or did anybody recognize it? Did your family, how did your family react?
My daughters, they knew, but they didn't know to the extent.
Okay.
Because, mom was in her purse a lot, popping Tylenol, but they're smarter than that. And my husband didn't have any idea it was to that extreme. I think I thought I was I guess I was a functioning addict. I held a job. Like I said, a home, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, church every Sunday, Bible study, all of it. I had a lot, but I had a mask on. It wasn't true. It wasn't authentic.
Okay. It wasn't a COVID mask.
No, it was not. Oh, no.
It was a real mask.
It was a real mask.
Okay.
Yes. And go ahead.
All right. Well, what is the biggest takeaway what was the biggest thing that you learned as a result of your addiction?
It was unmanageable.
Okay.
That pills was just a symptom.
Right.
It was in me. There was something broken in me that I had to dig deep, and I still am. I'm still figuring it out. It's a daily surrender. It's going to be a lifetime journey.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably what's happening to an awful lot of Americans right now. We see people that are addicted to drugs. They're not dealing with, as you say, something deeper inside of you that's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have an awful lot of drug addicts on our street, and we're not only not dealing with it, we're enabling more drug addicts because we are paying them money every month up in San Francisco area where I'm from,
Right.
and giving them the drugs. So how do you feel about that?
It's heartbreaking because they're going to end up dead or in jail. And praise God, that wasn't my story.
Right. Well, what do you think should change? What needs to change here? What would have helped you sooner?
Oh, well, February 1st, my family had an intervention with me.
Okay.
It was the shortest intervention in the history of interventions. My daughters came over, they're 29 and 30, and my husband. They said, "Mom, you have a problem." "Yes, I do." "Mom, you need to go somewhere." "Yes, I do." Then I got to speak and I said, "What the heck took you so long? I could have been dead by now." So it's communication. It's, my problem was so big, I didn't know how to go to them. And so I'm so forever thankful that they had the courage and love for me, that they saved me.
Absolutely. I guess what you're saying is you couldn't save yourself.
No, I could not.
And that's what we're seeing on our streets too.
Mm-hmm.
People can't save themselves, but they could if there's a helpful intervention. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to take a short break here, and then we will be back in 1 minute.
Throw and Tuck. It's handmade by myself, and you only can get it here, and it's patent, and it's only here at Real Coco Design. It's like a regular pillow, or you can take the blanket out like so, fluff up the pillow, open up your blanket, wrap it around yourself, and then you can lay on your sofa and relax with your pillow throw and tuck. When you're done with it, just flip it over. When you don't want the blanket anymore, you just fold it over twice. Fold it over twice again. Fold it over.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. And we're speaking with Judy Hart. She's a hairstylist. She's a businesswoman and a contributing member of our community. And she has been for many years. And she had a secret, and that secret was addiction. I might mention that we have some visitors here. And if you have a question, we have on the side panel here questions that you can ask. Rebecca has already said, glad to join you. Terrell has said, amen to what you've been talking about, Judy. And let's see, addiction steals more than your dreams. Thank you for sharing your story. Yes, we all appreciate the fact that you are taking this time to help us really understand that we need a support system, basically, to help us get through problems that we have. That's why the family, and I think you're illustrating that so powerfully, that the family is really the key to help us see ourselves and make some changes. They're the ones that really need to step up to the plate and not just put your child on the street or say, I don't accept you anymore. And I see way too much of that as in my work as a crime and violence prevention consultant. I've seen too many parents just say, you're out of here. And they haven't really let them know that they love them and care about them. So tell us a little more about your story, Judy, and how this really helped you. And how, if you had this addiction for so long, I'm wondering at what point should they have spoken up earlier? Could they have spoken up earlier? Would you have paid attention, or were you just ready to hear what they had to say?
I was ready. I was done. They could have said that 6 months ago. They could have said it a year ago, and I would have lied because we are master liars and manipulators. Rebecca, I see your comment. It steals more than your dreams. Yes, it stole my soul.
Wow.
I lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, who are you? Then I didn't want to look in the mirror anymore. And you mentioned I had a secret. I had my closet became my den of sin.
Wow.
And to this day, when I go into my closet, I need to change my closet around because that's where I kept it all kind of hidden. And that's, it breaks my heart because when I come out of I'm still earning trust with my family. When I come out of my closet now, my 29-year-old daughter's like an investigator. She's looking at me. And I'm like, oh, I was just changing my clothes. There's nothing in there. Because that's where it all happened.
Yeah. So have you built your trust back with your family, or is that a continually?
It's continually. And February 3rd, I went into rehab for 30 days in Florida and got out March 3rd. I started a 12-step program, which I go to 4 days a week. I've joined a gym. I go to church. I'm in therapy. Oh, but yes, I forgot my train of thought. A month ago, I had a headache. So I had a great idea that, I have a prescription for a headache medicine that in my mind was okay because it was prescribed to me when I was pregnant with my daughter. So I filled it.
Oh, wait a minute. You said your daughter's 29. You've had that pill for 29 years?
Well, no, it's a continual refill.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My doctor just he refills it because I get headaches.
Okay.
So no, that wasn't 30-year-old pill.
Okay.
So she came in the bathroom a month ago and I stuck the bottle. I had taken two and I had stuck the bottle behind a shampoo bottle. Well, she's not dumb. She went down there. She got them. She was holding the pill bottle in her hand. She saw the day I filled it. She saw how many I had taken. The bottom line is I abused them and I lied right to her face.
Okay.
Not only did I lie to her face, I swore on her life. And through all of my use, I don't think I've ever felt lower.
Wow.
And I felt mid-April. So I had a relapse, which my family could have accepted, but I lied.
Right.
I felt like a caged cat, a cornered cat, and the old personality traits and character defects came out, and the lie just.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty, Judy. I know this has to be difficult but it is, I know, very common among all people that have been addicted, that relapse is very common.
Mm-hmm.
So what is keeping you in check today?
Oh, my first thought was I don't want to let anybody down. But mainly I don't want to let myself down and my Lord down. He has brought me through so much. I have safeguards and boundaries intact. I have accountability partners. I go to a 12-step program. So I'm staying in my hula hoop and it's just everyday surrender. Every day, every minute sometimes. And I have to learn to sit in my feelings because what stopped happening, either I felt bad and I wanted to numb myself, or I felt good and I take a pill because I wanted to feel even better. Because with addiction and pain pills, at least for me, 1 is good, 5 is 10 times better, and so on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tell us a little bit, because all of us have heard about, the programs that are available, and you went down to Florida to get involved in a program down there. What actually do they do that really helped you out?
Well, it was a 30-day rehab. The greatest blessing was they detoxed me in a 5-day taper. So it was painless physically, but then after the 5 days, now you're getting deep into the emotional stuff. And that to me was harder than the detox. I could not have detoxed myself at home. I could not go an hour. I started taking the pills the last year just to not be sick.
Wow.
That's how much my body depended on it. And the rehab the treatment center, you're just with people who get you. They're
Right.
walking the same journey as you. There's no judgment. And it feels so freeing to be real and vulnerable and authentic. And that's where I desire to be. I used to be that, but I lost myself.
Right. Well, then that was a great support system for you. How many people were in your group?
Well, it was ever changing. It was women. Some would come in and they'd sign themselves out because they wanted to use again. Others were in a 30-day program or 45-day program. So there were 2 floors of us, and we would break up into groups. Maybe there were 50.
Oh, that's.
But then we would break up into smaller groups because trust me, there's no lack of users out there. And so that door was always somebody was coming in for an intake.
Wow. Now you're in Nevada.
Yes.
So why did they think the program, I'm assuming there are programs in Nevada. Why the journey to Florida?
Well, after the intervention, they immediately my family got on Google and tried to Google a rehab place, which is like impossible. So they reached out to a friend of ours who used to live here. She's a therapist back in Tennessee. We go to church. We went to church together, and she highly recommended Lakeview Health in Jacksonville.
Oh,
This is a God story. My mother was on vacation in Jacksonville, and she died February 3rd, 1991. I found myself on a plane to Jacksonville, February 3rd, 2022. Like, that's random. Who goes to Jacksonville? But that was a God thing.
Oh,
And I went right back to where all my trauma started.
Wow. It is a God thing. Well, Rebecca has a comment here for you, and she says, you are very brave. Your admission to human weaknesses only strengthens the rest of us who fear our own weaknesses. I couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
We all have weaknesses,
Yes.
but you're coming out and you're telling us in a very honest way where in the world you are today and where you were and what you have been able to overcome. We commend you for doing that because it's for me, it's very helpful because I did start support groups for the homeless, and many of them were addicted, and abuse was a huge part of their story. Did you suffer abuse as a young child or anything at all other than, your own anxieties?
I was a fearful child. Things that were like driving down the freeway, telling my dad to hurry up because the tanker driving next to us was going to fall on our car. Like, that's weird. But I had unfounded fears. But I had a great child. I had a great mother and father and 2 brothers.
So that wasn't part of your story.
That was not part of my story. No.
So the fears built up within you about your own weaknesses. Is that what you think started all of this?
And I quit a lot of stuff. I would join track and I'd quit it. Gymnastics, quit it. I just was a quitter.
Oh, okay.
And at soon to be 60 years old this month, I am not quitting anymore. This life is worth it. It's beautiful. And I'm excited. I'm excited I'm on the other side of old right now, but for whatever time God gives me.
Well, I have a very nice message here from your daughter, your investigator daughter. And she says, I love you, Mom. She has always been the most incredible, selfless, loving mom and Mimi. She's making me emotional. And she says, "We are so proud of you, and the best days of our lives are ahead of us." How sweet is that?
They love their mama.
Yes, they do. And they've
Yes,
proved
thank
it.
you.
I think your story also tells us how important family is. And instead of trying to divide us in this country, we really need to be strengthening our families. And, one of the things I'm working on as a crime and violence prevention consultant is getting our neighborhoods more cohesive so there's more support for the family. Instead of dividing us up, we really need to strengthen our own support systems because we all need support.
Yes, we do.
And the social isolation, which we see now after COVID, has been horribly damaging, in my opinion. And I think it reflects the fact that we've got 9.7 million people now addicted to drugs of some sort.
Yes, and the addiction, that is one of the biggest things is you isolate.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to hide. You're going to just do your thing. And it's so damaging. And that's what I love about my 12-step program is we're there for each other with no judgment.
All right.
And
Absolutely.
my church, I've shared my story with my church, and there's not been one person that has not showed me amazing amounts of grace.
That's lovely. See, and that's part of your support system. And that's what we should all be looking for. Where do we find the support we need to make our lives work?
That's right.
And you have any final words for us? Words of wisdom or anything you'd like to mention, Judy?
Well, we're not made to live this life alone. So we need community. We need each other. I am a grateful addict that I am in recovery, and my life has been saved twice, once by Jesus and now through recovery.
Well, thank you so much. I know you've helped a lot of people, and what can I tell you, except we're very grateful for you coming on today and being so honest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to let you know, and that was a great story, and she's such a lovely lady, and I really appreciate her coming on and talking about this very important topic, no doubt about it. And next week, we have a most amazing man. His name is Chaplain Stephen Kraft, and he's at Camp Constitution, and he's in correctional institutions too, and he's the author of Morality and Freedom, Americans' Dynamic Duo. So we'll be talking to Chaplain Kraft next week. So join us. Thank you for joining us today.
You're listening to All About Us Radio. We're live streaming 24/7, playing old school versus new school. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AAU Media, and visit our website, www.aaumedia.com. Call us at 1-833-369-1444, extension 1, and leave us an inspirational message or request. You're listening to All About Us Radio.